Okay, this is the second time through, and as I go, I'm going to stop and let you tell. I'm going to tell you what's being said here, because I wrote it all down. Took a while, even though it's only like 3 minutes. It's nuts. Okay, here you go. Hey everybody, how are you doing? I hope you're doing good. I'm feeling really weird right now, but I'm going to get through it with your help. And anyway, I'm going to play this. I think this is maybe 3 or 4 minutes long, this part of the video, and I'm going to play it again, and I'm going to tell you what it says, all the little things that these guys talk about. So here we go.
Yeah.
Reptar is on steroids. T-Bone, are you? I'm T-Bo, by the way. I'm not T-Bone.
He's not a piece of meat. He's a man. With feelings.
So there, T-Bo says Reptar is on steroids, and then T-Bo says, "Are you?" He's reading it. Reading the screen. It says, "Are you?" It says, "I'm T-Bo, by the way. I'm not T-Bone." And then Joe says, "He's not a piece of meat. He's a man." And then T-Bo says, "With feelings."
I do have feelings.
He's gonna have to suppress those feelings if he's gonna fight this.
You can't have feelings if you want to be Reptar.
I don't have feelings. I have steroids, just like Reptar.
Do you have the good shit?
Yeah, they said Reptar's on steroids. Are you or T-Bone? Are you? And
It's just not fair fighting.
yeah, I'm on steroids, glucose, freaking. What else?
So he says, "I do have feelings." And then Derek, he says he's going to have to suppress those feelings if he's going to fight this dude that's fighting. And then Joe says something like, "I don't think it's going to be Reptar," or something like that. And then T-Bo says, "I don't have feelings. I have steroids, just like Reptar." And then Derek asks him, "Do you have the good shit?" Yeah, they said Reptar's on steroids. T-Bo, are you? And Joe says, because it's not a fair fight if you aren't. And T-Bo says, "Yeah, I'm on steroids, glucose, freaking." He's ha ha ha. He laughs. Says, "What else? I don't know. What else is good?"
Good.
You doing those?
No, not glucose. I mean, I'm on insulin. I'm on insulin.
Okay.
There we go.
You doing the blood draws where you take out barbecues, where you take out where you basically take out fresh blood, you preserve it for a day or two, and then you go in and pump yourself up right before this fight.
Wait, with your blood?
Yeah, that's an actual method people have been using more and more recently for instead of using steroids,
They just use their
eat a
own
really
blood.
healthy meal.
So he says, "You doing those, huh?" And T-Bo, "No, I'm not on glucose. I'm on insulin. Yeah, insulin. There you go." And then Derek says, "You doing those blood draws where you basically take out fresh blood and you preserve it for a day or two, and then you go in and pump yourself up right before the fight?" T-Bo says, "Wait, with your blood?" Derek says, "Yeah, that's an actual method people have been using more and more recently instead of using steroids." T-Bo says, "So they just use their own blood?" And so I'm just going to read this next part to you, then you can listen to it on here. And Derek says, yeah, you eat a real healthy meal, and then you do a blood draw after a few hours, preserve the blood. And Joe says, "Isn't that called something?" There's a word for it. He says, "Isn't that called Jogon or something weird?" And the other guy, Derek, says, "Yeah, that's what it's called, or it's Job or something like that." And he says, "Yeah, healthier than taking out a liter of blood and putting one back in later at a later date." Tebow says, that can be very dangerous. And then Derek says, it can. Oh, that's right. Yeah, it can. Joe says, that's why you pay a medical professional so you can sue them for malpractice afterwards. Tebow says, who is the guy? And then somebody on the chat asks who the guy in the baseball hat is, because he's actually telling them about this blood thing, right? So these people in the chat are interested, like, who is this guy? How does he know, you know? So anyway, he says, who's the guy in the baseball hat? And Joe says, which one? So that's Derek. So Derek looks at the camera and waves. And then he tells Luke to look up at the camera and he waves. And he says, and then the guy waving is Joe, where Joe is like waving, but Joe's also talking to the camera, right? So then Derek says, yeah, we're all wearing baseball hats. And since we all look the same. And Tebow says, yeah, they thought it was like one person moving really fast. And then Joe says something like crouching and jumping down or something like that. Anyway, so the whole gist behind this is they are talking about a fight that's going on, that's going to be happening. They're literally talking about this fight. And they're talking about steroids. And they're talking about a lot of things right around here. In fact, the whole thing, there's so many things that people have not caught in this that is nuts, quite frankly. So I'm going to play the rest of this out, and I'm going to play you another little bit that I found having to do with Reptar.
Blood draw a few hours at the ear, preserve the blood, and then... Yeah, it is Joe. Kind of.
I just get a 5 cheese mac and cheese, please.
Alright, that was all for you tonight?
Taking out a
Give me
liter of
$8
blood
for you.
and then putting in a liter of blood at a later date.
That can be very dangerous. It can?
It can. Oh, that's right. It can be.
That's why you pay a medicinal so you can sue him for malpractice afterwards.
Who is the guy in the baseball hat?
Which one? That's Derek. Derek, look at the camera.
Can I get
That's
the
Derek.
5 cheese?
Luke, can you look at the camera? That's
The
Luke.
big burrito.
And then the guy waving is Joe.
Chicken.
Off the card there.
Alright, what's it all for you tonight, man?
Yep.
It's going to be $27.75.
My girls and my cat's going crazy.
Look identical.
I got a big cheese.
They thought it was just one person moving super fast.
Oh, hell yeah. Like
So,
crouching and jumping down.
So that badge, with the badge after, you're gonna have 2 A's.
2 A's, got it. All right, 12.
Real important.
Got it.
A lot of max.
have a nice night.
Don't you guys think this guy looks like Rory? I swear to God, when I first saw him, I thought, oh my God, that's Rory. Then there's another guy that looks just like him too. And I was like, man, I haven't seen him in a while. This guy's super skinny though. I don't know if Rory is or not. I mean, I haven't seen him for a while, but I mean, this was way back when. But anyway, I just thought it was weird. I didn't mean to keep this on here, but I figured might as well. You know, look at that girl's wearing in the back of her pocket right there. That's the same type of thing that those guys were wearing at the apartments when the cops did the second stop. That thing from her belt hanging down. Do you guys notice that? Yeah, look at that. Hey, everybody. Just got some interesting stuff I want to show you. Hope everybody's doing good. I've got 2 other videos, like part 2 and part 3 coming off the one I just put up there. And it might explain some of this here also with what's going on at the school or at the universities, in my opinion. Let's just clump this into one because it's not just one. And this is very unfortunate. And I don't want to have to do this. Because I'm not going to be a very liked person, that's for sure. And I'm going to need all of your guys' support. And I do mean your support, seriously. Because this is going to piss some people off. Shit. Okay. I would like you to meet Sarah. Sarah Jones. They call her Reptar. She's a cage fighter. This is Sarah right here. She looks a lot like Xana. She hasn't fought for a while, but when she did fight, she was very good. She's 36. Her birthday is 11/10, which is interesting. It's quite close to the 13th there, 1987. She's an atom weight. 4-2-0, win, loss, draw. So she's won 4, lost 2, and then, yeah. Current streak, 2 wins. Her last fight, it says, was 2018. Although, she is very much referred to at the grub truck. Big time. So, she's 5'5". She was born in Raleigh, North Carolina. And the college she went to was Michigan State University. Which is interesting to me. I want to look at her head coach is James David Gray. I wonder if that's any relation to Molly Gray. If maybe that's some of her family or something. I don't know. Quite frankly, the girl looks a lot like a Molly. She looks like they could be related, to tell you the truth. I mean, that's her coach I'm talking about here. That's not, I mean, but she does. She looks a lot like, like a Molly girl. So, due to her inactivity, so she's not ranked at this time because she has not been fighting. But I do believe she has been fighting, just in a different venue. Pure speculation, my opinion. One of the fights was out of Big John's MMA. And for some reason, that just makes me think of John Fletcher, who owns the Grub Truck. Big John's MMA. Maybe he's running a fighting circuit out of there and streaming it live on Twitch. I don't know. I haven't gone this far to look that up. Because quite frankly, my heart is racing like a mofo. And after this one, I'm going to take a little breather for a second because I need it. But this picture kind of looks like a Joe Vito, doesn't it? Doesn't that look like Joe Vito? Is Joe Vito running John Fletcher's fight club? Your guess is as good as mine. And quite frankly, my guess has been spot on. It's funny because I was listening to a video today, and they were naming off these channels that they watch and how, they use their stuff and they really trust in them because they make sure that they know what they're talking about and they give receipts and they say if it's speculation or my opinion or that kind of stuff. Well, I try to do that my best. But I'm going to say something here. And I'm not saying it because I think I'm all that and then some, because that is so far from the truth. But it's time, I feel like I deserve a little bit of credit here. And for some reason, I just don't get it, and I'm not sure why. And I guess that's okay. I don't need it. I don't know. Sometimes it just feels kind of good to be recognized as someone who's actually brought so many things, first things. And I'm not going to be like the other ones are like, oh, I did it first, I was the first one. Because that's not cool. And that's not what I mean by this. What I mean is we all listen, whether you admit to it or not. You might have a team that listens to them. other channels and finds things, different ideas, because it gets stagnant. Things get stagnant, and you just, you know, they get boring. You know, you listen to the same thing over again. You know what? I've never gotten bored with what I've been doing, because there's always something that I find that just blows my mind. Like, it'll just boom. It'll just literally sneak up on me, and I don't even know what's happening. And that's how I half the time don't even go looking for these things. It just happens. And what do I do first? I bring it to you guys, first and foremost. I mean, I cannot wait to do it. Like the Fight Club, like that one. Granted, it was a fight. It wasn't the Fight Club in Moscow. It was one from like California, some university in California or something like that. But it showed that this is what's happening. This is what I thought. I mean, when that hit me about that, I was moving so fast. I mean, I was so full of adrenaline after I mean, it was like, when I realized that's what was going on, I felt like I was in a fight myself. It was just, I mean, it didn't feel good, put it that way. It felt good, but it didn't feel good. I mean, it was way too much adrenaline. Whew, it was gnarly. And that's actually kind of how I feel right now when I'm finding this stuff right here. And this is by accident, quite by accident. First of all, I'm watching the grub truck, right? Because I'm looking for a certain someone that is there. And this certain someone is a brother of a fraternity guy at the U of I. And this fraternity guy dates Liz Katovich. And he's like, you know, he's Adam Lauda's best friend. And Jack D's. Yeah. My heart is racing right now. I feel sick to my stomach. And his brother, his little brother, who, quite frankly, I feel like he's a good kid. And I don't know, I'm not saying anything happened. Please do not get me wrong on this one. I'm not saying anything happened. I'm just saying somewhere along the line, there's something going on here. And whether it's this group involved directly or indirectly or whatever it may be, there's something definitely connected. And this girl right here, Sarah, she's out of Michigan State University. That's where Mr. Coulson's plays for. He plays for the Michigan State. And he is Cayden's younger brother. Cayden's in a fraternity. Colston wasn't. Was there a crossroads there somewhere? Was there some soul selling going on somewhere along the line? I don't know. I hope not. I hope that what I have just found and continue to find, and I continue to find it, it's there. This has not died. These videos that have been put out, oh, they're not done being viewed by any way, shape, or form. There's so much in them. I just did 5 minutes, watched 5 minutes, and got 2 notebook pages full of talk. And what did they talk about? They talked about Reptar. And I had no idea what Reptar was. So when I looked it up, it was like some cartoon type thing.